pension, which is $30 million.
Right.
Because anything that constitutes fraud would have made such a precedent null and void. You can't raid the country like that and cause immense pain and suffering and then retire in extravagance and opulence. Can't.
Yeah,
okay, man, a lot of these.
It would be a spit in the face to all Jamaicans if that happened.
Right, so a lot of these construction buildings going up are owned by the Prime Minister and his wife. And the Chinese workers are building the units. Just as how you see they got multiple contracts to build a lot of units on the University of the West Indies campus. They have been doing a lot of residential units too. Quite a lot of them are for the Prime Minister's wife and by extension himself.
Wow.
Up to today, I have identified a massive 2-story building on Deanery Road. Right? It's called the Vineyards. Brand new properties completed last summer. 1 bedroom for 25 million and counting.
What?
And that was when, yes, and 2 bedrooms for 38 million and counting.
What?
Those prices were set while the construction was being done. It has been completed, so the price is escalated now.
Mighty God. 38
yes.
million for 2 bedroom.
The initial offer, so it would have gone up to probably 41 million now or 40 million thereabout, yeah.
Wow.
It will never be the same.
Wow.
You know? So all of these people are opening limited liability companies, you know. You can't see their names and anything. Sometimes they use company names to open other company names. You don't understand what's going on? If you don't know someone who is a part of the project or the original sale agreement as to when they purchased the land itself to construct the building, you will never know out there. Somebody with inside information have to divulge it to you. You can't know. Because they use it, as I said, they're using LLC to open other LLC.
Oof.
I'm telling you, man.
When you know, you know, eh?
The Prime Minister and the Chinese investors in Jamaica, they have a very clandestine and intricate relationship that have produced multi-billions of dollars for his personal enrichment.
Oh.
Prime Minister doesn't have any interest in USA. He's only concerned that his wealth may have collided with the Swift payment platform which is originally from the US, and he can make multiple payments on the platform worldwide. That is his only concern, you know, that he's being monitored and probably sanctioned eventually.
That's crazy.
Right? Now the US is concerned about Jamaica being a transshipment point to its country, and they want to guard against that to make sure that they don't have any enemies in their background or so-called competitors like that on the global scale. So that is why they are concerned about China. But Bolo, Prime Minister is happy, man. The day he met the Chinese nationals and business and their business community when he came into power, that's the day he bingo. That was his lottery day. Yes, because they would have emboldened him, you know, and give him big sums of money for access to various institutions that make their businesses move very smoothly. So yes, most of the units that the Prime Minister's wife is constructing is the Chinese nationals working on those projects. Yes.
Say that again, boss.
Most of the construction units that are being built by the Prime Minister's wife, the people who are working on them are Chinese nationals. And it's the same thing as the vineyards in Vineyard Town and Deanery Road.
Boy, one thing me know, something must happen. Because
and NHT
right now.
And NHT is not producing any home support people, so the normal workers in Kingston have to relocate to rural Jamaica in order to survive because they can't pay the rent in Kingston. So they are moving back from the city into rural areas where they can add a room on their family's place and survive. Rent is out of work for the average citizen now in the city.
It's not even out of work, brother. It just nobody think about
unbearable. It's unbearable. It's unbearable in a dish.
Trying to own a home is impossible under this real estate.
Right, so it's unbearable. And it also preserves generational poverty. Because once you're paying rent, it's a sacrifice for many other things that you really want out of life.
I'm glad you said that. Because you see,
yes.
I was so... I was confused, but then I was not shocked at the same time when the JLP and their media cohorts attacked the idea that the PMP put in their budget to actually help people to own their homes.
And the feeding programs at school.
And the feeding. I was like, how are you?
And I heard that. Can you imagine? And look how much billions gone down in SSL that could have been used to feed all the schools and let countless money.
And then Favor Williams had the audacity to make them use her like a guinea pig to come in the parliament to clown the budget that the man them put out or try to attempt to do so. It's like these people are so shame.
Yes, he's a con artist, Bolo. The Prime Minister is a con artist because I saw him greeting the Secretary of State and the man doubled down, you know, from a normal handshake to pat on the shoulder, you know. Yeah, and I'm saying how unprofessional. Yes, how unprofessional this guy is.
Man, listen.
The only thing was left is for him to hug up Marco Rubio and kiss him.
Yeah.
He wish if he could do it. Because that he wish that he could have done it. That guy, you don't know that guy, man. You soon see all of his deeds revealed here. You see, just as how everything revealed between himself and you, because you're the owner of SSL, everything else will be revealed between himself and the Chinese nationals who have been pre-approved to access all governmental institutions, stroke agencies.
Mighty God.
These guys paid big money for bribes in a bowl.
One of the things that you said to me, which I mean, a lot of it is shocking and eye-opening at the same time. In terms of the access to a licensed firearm by the agents.
Oh yes, tax office.
That is
those guys. Yes,
security concern.
Yes, yeah. And company business registration, Companies Office of Jamaica, tax office. Yeah, and then you have the Island Traffic Authority where the Chinese are getting their licenses quickly when they come into Jamaica. Yeah. Yeah, it is a corrupt thing. As I told you, the middle name of the Chinese is bribery. And the only question they ask is how much. just come to the back of the building and collect a few crocus bags of money. That's how they operate.
Wow.
While the workers cannot put their hands into those monies, the workers in the buildings, they suffer them. You have to be in political roles or being head of government agencies to get their lump sums of money. And they don't put back nothing towards society. No equipment in hospitals, nothing in schools. They just demand their pound of flesh, but they pay the individuals who they are bribing up front. And they pay them handsomely. That is why you see the Prime Minister sold out the Jamaica to the Chinese. You can't get rid of Chinese out of Jamaica right now. It's too late, Mr. Secretary of State. The Chinese is fully dominant right now. And they paid big money to the man at the top to be able to penetrate the construction industry like that.
Wow.
Yes. They won't even some part of our ports right now, like the wharves. Massive land, roads, buildings, residential and commercial. They are doing everything. People saw the Chinese making a lot of buildings and were saying, how would they get those contracts? And so many Jamaicans out here want work in the construction industry, you know, masons, plumbers and all that. And they couldn't get a job.
You know,
it was the Prime Minister doing it. It was the Prime Minister doing it from then until now.
I remember Talk Your Mind TV. He showed a brother that is very experienced in the field of they're talking about, you know, construction. And he's actually a contractor in terms of you have other people that works for him and they have been doing a lot of work over the years in Mobile. And Talk Your Mind.
They can't survive on
Talk Your Mind. No, it's a serious thing. Them cannot get no more work, Bridget. The man them cannot get any more work and they are qualified for those jobs.
So in other words, the Prime Minister sold them out like slaves to enrich himself and prop up the Chinese companies out here. And then it turned out now that his wife is one of the major beneficiaries of the Chinese input. So you see the chain of corruption. Well, there is no end to this chain, you know. It's called a transactional chain. And it's always turning out to be the Prime Minister's involvement.
Right. Well,
yes.
I forgot that's one shot, my virgin. And what? 1 hour upon that? Mighty God, big up yourself. I have to cut this one shot. It's always a pleasure.
In closing, Bolo, I'm surprised that the PNP didn't organize a protest yesterday when the Secretary of State to let him be aware of the corruption that is going on in Jamaica and the economic recession that exists at the moment. You know, so if it was even to stay out by Harborview roundabout and put up the placard, let him see what's going on, man. They should have done that. Come on.
So we
know.
You would have advised something like that?
Of course. What's wrong with that? What would be so detrimental about them doing that? What would be the issue about it? There wouldn't be any problem.
Something to think
it's not. They wouldn't be opposing the Secretary of State. They would be opposing the Andrew HOLNESS regime.
I think Andrew HOLNESS would have used all his force to clamp that one.
I don't know.
I think that
because
one.
At the end of the day,
I think that one would need
Constitution
start. Yeah, I think that one.
So
I think we would have seen. No, I'm not disagreeing with you that they should have done it. No. I think measures would have been taken by Andrew HOLNESS that would not even materialize.
All over the world, when leaders are coming into countries that are being oppressed, they always demonstrate. So I'm surprised that the PNP didn't take on that role yesterday. I'm very surprised because that was an opportunity.
I really want men like you in the opposition, you know.
That was an opportunity.
Yeah, you know the way you think, because I even think more that, you know. I didn't even
Yes.
think about that, Richie. And it's a good
Bolo,
point.
I have to commend you, Bolo. You're one of the most, you're one of the better bloggers, There's no doubt about that. I've seen your dedication. I've seen your assessment of the issues that are affecting the Jamaican people, and you have been very accurate, You are way up there. You're way up there, So
Nice, man.
I have to congratulate you, man. All right?
Thank you, man. All right.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
sir. All right. Blessings to HEADBOY. I know big up himself. People, the word is love. All right. The word is love. I put out a lot of content today. From like 12 o'clock last night, 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. Content has been going out. There's literally maybe 12 videos for you guys to really dive into and give me a commentary. And I notice a lot of them hasn't been watched. So I want to encourage you guys to go to my today's playlist. Alright, and you'll find all those videos. Today's content, that's the name of the playlist. Today's content. I would love for you to go to today's content playlist and take a look at that. Alright, any day you feel like you missed something, go to today's content. Alright? Alright, you guys have a wonderful evening, and it's your brother Bolo VNR, and I'm out.